Have you ever asked yourself, what if someone made a live-action movie that felt like an anime? And no, I don't mean this atrocity. God, please no. I mean, I want it to feel like this. Well, you're in luck, because we actually have something now that might scratch that itch. And it's in a movie that you wouldn't really expect. But first, I have to ask why there hasn't been anything like that already. I mean, yeah, sometimes stuff in anime would just be impossible to replicate in live action. That's why the upcoming One Piece live action is so worrisome. But also at that same time, anime is just what people want. Proof of that is the insanely rapid growth of the medium over the last few years. Like, just about everyone is wearing some sort of anime merch or got an anime PFP. Like, I bet if you walk into your school, your teacher's gonna have a Demon Slayer shirt and she's gonna be talking about Naruto, and she's gonna probably be singing the Pledge of Allegiance like Sasageo, Sasageo, Shinzo Sasageo. Anyway, point is, anime is everywhere, and people are eating it up. But even with that, Hollywood just really hasn't seen an ounce of real anime inspiration. Okay, maybe there's Speed Racer, I don't know if that movie was good or not. I just kind of watched it when I was 12 and remember the piranhas were there and they were kind of scary. But anyway, it seems like white boomer groomers just hate anime, but it's a little deeper than that. Cartoons have kind of been seen as childish in the West for a really long time. I mean, there's a reason that most animated features in the USA are actually for children. Not to discredit and say there isn't ones for adults, but most are for children. But hopefully it makes sense that they don't just hate it, it's just if you admit you like it to them, that would kind of be the equivalent of saying you like Record of Ragnarok. Like, come on, man. Except our generation, the Umizoomies and millennials, we're here to save cinema with anime influence. God, that's one of the cringiest lines I've ever said. And that's where Michael B. Jordan comes in. And wait, you might be thinking, isn't that the guy from Black Panther and the Fantastic Four? Yes, that's him. That is him, yes. But he's also the director of the movie that feels anime. Oh my god, title drop, guys. Oh my god, that's the Fitz title. Creed 3 is a movie that was obviously going to have some sort of anime inspiration after Michael B. Jordan was announced as the director. I mean, he's mentioned everywhere that anime is a big part of his life and how much he was inspired by it. He even had so many interviews going into this movie that he just kept talking about how inspired by anime the movie was. But holy shit, when I went into the movie theater and sat down, I did not expect the movie to have this in store. I came out a changed man, a stronger, better person. But what exactly made the movie so good? Well, I mean everything. But for starters, this movie is about brotherhood and rivalry, and the way it's done almost kind of mirrors Sasuke and Naruto, but also a lot of other anime tropes. Basically, without any major spoilers, Adonis was childhood friends with a guy named Damien. One day, there's an altercation that happens and Damien gets arrested. Adonis ends up blaming himself for this and feels guilty. Fast forward about 30 years, Adonis is the heavyweight world champion, and Damien is released from prison. So obviously, they reunite and catch up. I mean, they're lifelong friends that were basically brothers in their childhood. Despite any guilt, they'd still want to reunite. And then it happens. Damien tells Adonis he wants to still box, despite being in his late 30s. That's a big deal. Boxing is really intense, and age can just drastically affect how much you can do. Damien's dream is kind of on a timer. For him, it's now or never. He has a few shots to make it big, and if he fails, he'll never make it. Adonis is surprised by the fact that he still wants to be a boxer, but he also wants to help him in any way he can. He knows this pain all too well. Technically, he's never faced that same obstacle, but on the other hand, his wife has. See, his wife is a singer with progressive hearing loss. Over time, she's losing the ability to fulfill her dream. She's always had limited time to shine, and even in this movie, she basically has to relinquish her dream of being a star. She decides that she's only going to be a producer from here on out. Later on, there's even a scene that ties into this feeling. At a party, a lady is singing one of Adonis's wife's songs, and Damien asks her, "Doesn't it feel weird having someone else sing your song?" Her response is a little delayed, but it's something along the lines of, "Yeah, but this is the only way I have left." That scene is just something else. It's hard to put really into words, it's just an emotion. And I know that sounds cliche, but it's just not on the edge of heartbreak, but it's kind of in the middle between heartbreak and sadness. It's gut-wrenching to say the least. I really think both the guilt of leaving Damien behind and knowing the depth of his problems is probably why Adonis helps Damien in this movie. Everyone was telling him not to, but when your lifelong brother comes back and you can see so many of your problems in himself, you have to help him. There's so much more to that relationship, but I think that's really one key part that sets up for how visceral this final fight is. And that's where most of the animeing comes into the film. This fight, Adonis versus Damien, isn't just a regular battle between friends. It's a battle between friends so close that they consider one another family. It's more than just the physical fight that everyone witnesses. It's an emotional brawl that only they know about. The way the movie shows that is absolutely stellar too. At the peak of the fight, when everyone is cheering as loud as they possibly can, everything goes silent. The crowd fades away, and we're just left with the fighters in the ring. This is what's going on behind the scenes. We're seeing that emotional battle that the crowd can't. As the ropes of the ring slowly turn into jail bars, we can feel everything these friends have gone through. It's not about who's about to hit the hardest. It's not about who has the best physical ability. In this moment, it's about the broken brotherhood that each of them had. The fight goes back and forth, and honestly, each of them get really good hits in. But that's not the point. You can feel every emotion, the rage, the lost trust, everything in these punches. The fight, it just gives you one of those shivers. The same shivers that you'd see in something like Obito versus Kakashi. Michael B. Jordan hasn't publicly stated this to my knowledge, but based on an interview with Jonathan Majors, it seems extremely likely that that fight is based on a fight in Naruto, Obito versus Kakashi. A fight where characters are alone, a fight that's more emotional than physical, a fight about two friends who consider each other brothers. And to top all of that off, this fight even ends with the same all too familiar anime moment of both characters hitting each other at the same time. He could have taken this from literally any anime, and I think that's kind of the point. This is one of the most anime moments possible. Almost any anime with this theme is gonna have something like this. It's really a moment that just shows two friends that are separated by stupid differences. Naruto has it, Dragon Ball has it, Hajime no Ippo has it, and the rivalry they have is in even more anime, so many in fact that it would be impossible to name even a fraction of them. But I think that one punch really just tops off and shows how anime this scene is, how anime this entire movie is in fact. There's so many more little things that we had to gloss over, but I don't want to spoil any of you. And then after that, there's the one Frieza punch, or maybe it's even from Hajime Ippo, who knows. I won't spoil any more of the final fight because you really need to experience it if you're an anime fan, but with that being said, this movie is a 4.5 out of 5. See you later.